Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Power Insider. Today, we're going to dive deep into one of the most intense moments on the Red Sea, where American power was pushed to its absolute limit, and a revolutionary strategic shift took place. Get ready for a gripping story, because what you're about to hear will completely change the way you see modern warfare. As dawn broke over the Red Sea in April 2025, the peaceful atmosphere was suddenly shattered by an unexpected threat. 11 missiles launched by the Houthi forces, including 6 cruise missiles, 2 ballistic missiles, and 3 drones, simultaneously headed straight toward the USS Harry S. Truman aircraft carrier and its strike group in a bold, coordinated attack. Their goal was very clear: to shake up the world and challenge the power of the U.S. Navy with a strike that could shift the balance of power in the region. The $13 billion aircraft carrier faced a serious threat. However, what followed was a swift and powerful counterattack by the U.S., exceeding all expectations. On a peaceful morning, bathed in the soft light of April 2025, over the Red Sea, the USS Harry S. Truman, a massive aircraft carrier leading the U.S. Naval Strike Group, was preparing for a routine day of work for the crew. The air was still, and the sea surface reflected a rare calmness. Then, precisely at 7:24 a.m. local time, everything changed completely. The radar screen suddenly lit up, signaling a warning. Unidentified objects were rapidly heading toward the warships from the distant coast of Yemen. A chilling realization spread throughout the command center: the attack had begun. Every second felt like a lifetime. The command center aboard the Truman, once always a place of sharp, decisive orders, was now filled with the continuous beeping of radar and urgent voices. The bright red alarm lights flooded the room, reflecting off the tense faces of the officers. Leading the task force, Colonel Miller gripped the edge of the table tightly, his eyes fixed on the screen displaying the approaching threat. He knew that even a small mistake could lead to disaster. This was not just an attack. It was a deadly gamble that the Houthis were placing on the geopolitical chessboard. This was not a sudden outbreak, but a well-coordinated strike by the Houthi forces, the group controlling most of northern Yemen. Their objective was clear: the aircraft carrier USS Harry S. Truman and its escort ships. At least 6 cruise missiles, 2 ballistic missiles, and 3 unmanned aerial vehicles UAVs simultaneously surged toward the target in a precise all-out attack. The Houthis didn't just aim to inflict damage, they wanted to shake the world and challenge the power of the U.S. Navy. The attack was carried out smoothly. Missiles and drones were launched from concealed positions along Yemen's western coastline, a rugged mountainous terrain used as natural cover. Later military reports revealed the scale of the preparations the Houthi forces had skillfully chosen, the timing when the aircraft carrier's air wing was undergoing scheduled maintenance, limiting its ability to respond. This was clearly a sophisticated plan designed to exploit a narrow window of vulnerability. The missiles attacked from multiple directions. This tactic was designed to confuse radar operators and overwhelm the fleet's defense system. The power of the weapons reflects a formidable level of technical sophistication. Analysts believe the cruise missiles are the Quds 4 mm Sapper 4 model, a type supplied by Iran. Their characteristic is flying low just above the sea surface to avoid detection. Unlike older generation missiles that typically ascend high and then descend along a predictable trajectory, the Quds 4 moves like a ghost, making it difficult to detect until it's very close, by which time it's already too late to respond. Not only the Quds 4 intelligence also indicates that the Houthis have deployed the long-range, highly maneuverable Quds Z ballistic missiles, along with upgraded Samad-3 drones, equipped with large explosive warheads. This combination creates a dual threat. Ballistic missiles force defense systems to focus on the sky, while low-flying cruise missiles skimming the water and low-altitude drones disrupt radar, attempting to slip through any gaps. These are not crude weapons. They are asymmetrical warfare tools that have been carefully researched and developed, designed to cause maximum chaos at minimal cost. The tense confrontation had just begun, causing the world to hold its breath in anticipation. The USS Harry S. Truman aircraft carrier, the ultimate symbol of American power in these strategic waters, now faces an unprecedented challenge from a non-state force equipped with advanced technical support. However, the United States did not hesitate. The U.S. forces responded with a speed and precision that amazed military experts. The naval battle in April 2025 was not just a confrontation between missiles and warships. It was also a test of America's strength and resolve against a rising power in a highly volatile region. The efforts of the Houthi forces, although somewhat bold and well-prepared, were ultimately repelled by the U.S. forces with advanced technology and coordinated teamwork. This victory is not only a triumph of technology, but also a psychological win, sending a strong message about the resilience and agile response capabilities of the U.S. Navy. When blazing red threat signals flooded the screens, the Aegis systems on U.S. escort ships, including the cruiser USS Normandy and the destroyer USS Gravely, automatically activated. The SPY-1 radars spun frantically, locking onto targets within milliseconds. The SM-2 and SM-6 interceptor missiles, the snipers of the sky, were launched simultaneously from vertical launch tubes, tearing through the air with a piercing whistle. Each interceptor missile is a technological masterpiece, designed to collide directly with its target, turning them into clouds of dust over the Red Sea sky. On the aircraft carrier, the Phalanx CIWS close-in weapon system, capable of firing 4,500 rounds per minute, roars like fierce beasts, creating a final wall of fire defense. This is a symphony of defensive power, honed through thousands of hours of training to be flawless in this critical moment. This story goes beyond a simple attack or defense. It opens a new chapter in regional geopolitics, where non-governmental forces equipped with advanced technology can challenge military superpowers. And the big question is, at what intensity will such confrontations continue to occur, and what must the U.S. and its allies do to maintain stability in this strategic maritime region? One thing is certain: the battle in the Red Sea in April 2025 will be remembered as a vivid testament to the unpredictable changes of the modern world. Imagine the chaos unfolding over the Red Sea, ballistic missiles soaring high, turning the sky into a deadly testing ground that challenges the fleet's air defense capabilities. Below, agile drones hover in the air, creating a whirlwind of confusion that forces the U.S. forces to deal with multiple threats simultaneously. Together, these weapons form a lethal network, each strand aimed directly at the heart of the strike group. At the center of this storm is the USS Harry S. Truman, not just a warship, but a city at sea home to over 5,000 sailors and fully equipped with fighter jets ready to dominate the region. Its escort vessels, destroyers, and cruisers, outfitted with advanced defense systems, form an impenetrable shield. Striking this force is not merely a military strategy. It is an attack on the very symbol of American power. The Houthi forces fully understand this. A successful strike could send shockwaves far beyond the Red Sea, shaking global confidence in the U.S. military's power and boosting their standing among both rivals and allies. The timing of the attack carries significance that goes well beyond immediate tactical gains. Just a few days earlier, U.S. fighter jets had bombed key weapons sites in Yemen during Operation Rough Rider, aiming to weaken the Houthi forces' ability to threaten critical supply routes. This bold strike in April was a strong response from the Houthis, not just retaliation but a clear message: we can strike back even against a superpower. Experts suspect that Iran is involved in this operation, citing the complexity of the attack, a potential sign of covert support from outside Yemen. If true, this suggests a deeper underlying proxy conflict simmering beneath the surface of the open war. But the Houthi forces did not stop at the aircraft carrier. Evidence shows other targets in the fleet, ranging from an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, renowned for its missile defense capabilities, to a Ticonderoga-class cruiser, which plays a key role in the strike group. Even a vital supply ship, the lifeline sustaining the task force's operations, could be targeted. This is not a limited attack. It is a coordinated effort to disrupt the fleet's finely tuned machinery. And yet, the true power of the attack lies in its boldness. Born out of the brutal civil war in Yemen, the Houthi forces lacked the resources of a regular army. Their strength comes from a strong ability to adapt, using drones and missiles to deliver destructive force far beyond their size. Organizing an attack against a carrier strike group requires not only courage and planning, but also steadfast determination. Even if the attack fails, the boldness of the effort will still resonate powerfully, a message that spreads across the seas and on the international stage. The near-attack incident not only alarmed U.S. partners, but also sparked intense debates about maritime security, while pushing Washington into a whirlwind of difficult questions. The Red Sea, a critical strategic choke point, has added further tension to the situation. This is not only a vital trade route connecting Europe and Asia through the Suez Canal, but also an arena that cannot be ignored. An attack here is not just aimed at the United States. It is a clear challenge. No shipping company, no military force can underestimate the reach of the Houthi forces. That peaceful morning quickly turned into a dramatic stage where the rebels were determined to show their strength. Although the missiles missed their targets and the drones had yet to penetrate the fleet, the Houthis achieved something else important. They captured the world's attention. A small force equipped with the right technology and perfect timing can threaten the mightiest giants. The attack on the USS Truman aircraft carrier was not only a warning, but also a symbol of the shifting nature of modern warfare. As technology spreads rapidly and proxy forces grow increasingly bold, the line between peace and conflict in the Red Sea region has become more fragile than ever. As the radar screen gradually quieted and the crew breathed a sigh of relief, the pressure of the event lingered deeply. This was not an isolated incident, but a glimpse into a new reality. Even the most powerful warships must keep a vigilant eye on a horizon filled with danger. The Houthis fired the first shot, and the world is listening. Just minutes after the attack on the USS Harry S. Truman was thwarted, the atmosphere on the aircraft carrier shifted from alertness to decisive action. By around 8:09 a.m. in April 2025, the Red Sea was no longer a passive defense zone, but had become a launching pad for a precise and powerful counterattack, dubbed Package Echo. This retaliatory strike was not merely a show of force, but a strategic move aimed at crippling the Houthis' capabilities and sending a strong warning to anyone daring to challenge the authority of the U.S. Navy. The operation proceeded at an impressive pace. Less than 45 minutes after the last Houthi missile was destroyed, the flight deck of the Truman erupted with activity. The crew operated skillfully, preparing the aircraft for a mission that had been meticulously planned in advance for emergency situations like this. This is not improvisation, but the result of scenarios that the U.S. Navy has anticipated, designed for a swift counterattack force, protection and prevention of any further aggressive actions. Package Echo is part of that strategic guidebook, designed to strike hard, strike fast, and strike precisely. Targets are carefully selected based on real-time intelligence data gathered throughout the Houthi attack and advanced radar systems, all of which have enabled U.S. military commanders to meticulously plan an uncompromising counterattack in this perilous area of the Red Sea. Under the dim light of dawn, intercepted signals, satellite images, and tracking data guided the planners of the attack. The objective was not merely to punish the enemy, but also to prevent their ability to cause harm in the future. 3 critical locations in Yemen have been carefully selected: a storage facility near Al-Hudaydah, containing drones suspected of being involved in the attack; a command center in the western highlands of Sana'a, where all Houthi operations are coordinated; and finally a surface-to-air missile site protecting a key missile launch area. Each target functions like a link in a mobile war machine, and the United States is determined to completely dismantle them. The spearhead of the campaign is the F/A-18 Super Hornet aircraft, an icon of versatility in the U.S. Air Force. They are equipped with 1,000-pound bombs featuring ultra-precise GPS guidance systems capable of hitting targets within just a few feet. Accompanying the Rhino warriors is the EA-18G Growler Squadron fighter jets, specialized in electronic warfare, capable of emitting signals that jam enemy radar and disrupt communications, creating a shimmering electronic shield that covers the attacking forces. Above, an E-2D Hawkeye tirelessly circles the sky, equipped with advanced radar that provides real-time battlefield imagery, coordinating every move. On the flight deck, the pace of life is just as dynamic. Technicians quickly refuel the aircraft, while the weapons team pays close attention to every detail when loading ammunition. The roar of engines blended with sharp commands, accompanied by the sound of aircraft launching from the catapults, soaring into the early morning sky. A tight formation of 12 Super Hornets, escorted and protected by Growlers, successively throttled up to altitude, their jet thrust flames blazing brightly in the air. A clear and high-pressure mission neutralized the target, with the minimal possible collateral damage. This is not a city-flattening attack, but a demonstration of surgical precision, the hallmark of modern naval warfare. At that moment, the USS Gravely, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer positioned east of the aircraft carrier Truman, joined the operation. The vertical launch system on deck opened, releasing Tomahawk missiles that had been programmed with precise coordinates. What sets this cruise missile apart is its ability to fly close to the ground at high speed, evading radar detection and accurately striking fortified targets with devastating explosive power. The coordinated simultaneous attack by aircraft and missiles created a two-pronged assault. To achieve this level of absolute precision, the U.S. Navy has utilized GPS satellite positioning technology combined with the most advanced inertial navigation system, INS, on bombs and missiles. Each target is thoroughly reconnoitered using spy satellites, reconnaissance drones, and covert special operations units. Notably, this campaign also involved secret electronic warfare (EW) units using jamming and decoy devices to disable the Houthi air defense system just before the main attack took place. This is an aerial cyber war, where not only bombs and bullets, but also information and radio frequencies become weapons. The seamless coordination between the Air Force and Navy, combining reconnaissance, electronic warfare, and precision strikes, creates a symphony of destruction, leaving the enemy no moment to catch their breath. The first airstrike around 8:30 a.m. recorded a drone storage facility near Al-Hudaydah, bursting into intense flames. The explosions were not just from bombs, but also from the ignition of fuel and ammunition stored inside the facility, causing secondary blasts that shook the entire area. The sudden blaze erupted like an unmistakable warning about the precise power and devastating impact of the attack. This silent battle, where every flight path and every coordinated move was critical, began with a spectacular display of modern military artistry. Smoke billowed high into the sky, signaling a fierce attack. Satellite images later confirmed that the target site had been reduced to rubble, with all equipment inside completely destroyed. The second target, a command center hidden within rugged hills, could not escape the precision of the Tomahawk missile. The strike caused the fortified structure to collapse completely. Seismic sensors installed on the USS Truman, located more than 50 miles away, also recorded the impact intensity, providing clear evidence of the attack's power. Ultimately, the SAM air defense radar site, a critical defense line protecting the Houthi launch platforms, was destroyed by a coordinated lightning-fast strike, combining aerial bombs and powerful missiles. Their air defense system became disoriented and overwhelmed by these attacks. The campaign was not only successful in terms of physical destruction, but also triggered underlying disruptions within the Houthi network at a highly sensitive moment. The loss of the command center caused communication to be disrupted, forcing the group's leaders to struggle in finding alternative solutions. The drone manufacturing facility, a source of inexpensive yet dangerous weapons, suffered significant damage. The collapse of the SAM system means that the missile launch sites have been fully exposed, making them easy targets for attacks in the near future. All of these strikes combined have significantly weakened the group's ability to counterattack, effectively achieving the campaign's objective of containment. The broader context further underscores the significance of Operation Package Echo. The Red Sea is a vital global trade artery with billions of dollars worth of goods transported through it annually. The Houthi attacks on commercial vessels have raised serious concerns within the international community. The U.S.'s decisive response not only reassures its allies, but also asserts its sovereign right to protect this critical maritime corridor. The campaign also sends a clear message to the forces in the region, especially those backing the Houthis. Any escalation will be met with a proportional response. The speed and precision of this strike demonstrate America's capability to act decisively regardless of how complex the geopolitical landscape may be. Another factor that highlights the campaign is the technology employed. The F/A-18s and Tomahawk missiles showcase decades of investment in precision warfare. The electronic jamming capabilities of the Growler aircraft demonstrate that modern warfare is not just a physical battle, but also a fight over signals and data. Package Echo represents the seamless integration of Air Force, Navy, and intelligence forces. For the U.S. Navy, this is an opportunity to demonstrate that a system honed through years of training is not only ready, but can also perform at its maximum strength under intense pressure. An important success that cannot be overlooked is that all aircraft safely returned to the deck of the USS Truman aircraft carrier. All pilots landed smoothly, and no equipment was lost during this raid. This success reflects the meticulous preparation of the Navy, where squadrons train for missions that demand survival skills in all harsh conditions. However, the earlier defensive phase was far from easy. An F/A-18E Super Hornet was forced to make an emergency landing in the sea. It was a high-risk trade-off, balancing between spectacular success and the cost paid in this complex battle. These ups and downs create a cinematic, dramatic, and heroic story of Operation Package Echo, proof of the superior strength, yet also the close calls faced by the U.S. military on the modern battlefield. During the Houthi attack, when the aircraft carrier made a sharp turn to evade a missile, the pilot's safe recovery highlighted the U.S. Navy's outstanding crisis management capabilities. However, that very moment also revealed the thin line between success and failure in such operations. The price to pay was not just material. After Package Echo, the Houthi forces realized that their reckless actions would not only be intercepted, but also met with a devastating counterstrike. Their confidence, once bolstered by unpunished attacks, was now shaken. The eerie silence over the Red Sea that followed was not a sign of peace, but evidence of hesitation and fear. Subsequent intelligence reports revealed that intense internal disputes had emerged within the Houthi movement regarding the effectiveness of direct confrontation tactics against the United States, creating unprecedented internal fractures. This represented a significant psychological victory for the U.S., completely changing the game on the Arabian Peninsula. Package Echo was not just a simple counterattack, it was a resolute declaration. By responding within just 1 hour after the initial strike, the U.S. Navy seamlessly shifted from defense to offense with absolute precision. This campaign not only disrupted the enemy's plans and infrastructure, but also reinforced the strong presence of the United States in a highly volatile region. As the dust settled over the hills of Yemen, the message was crystal clear. Any attempt to challenge U.S. forces would be met with a swift and uncompromising response. The attack on the USS Harry S. Truman in April 2025 not only tested the Navy's defense systems, but also forced U.S. leaders to rethink how to respond to maritime threats. For many years, prior American warships operating in sensitive waters like the Red Sea strictly followed a cautious rule: they were only allowed to open fire if attacked first. But modern warfare no longer allows for such restraint. As soon as the missiles stopped flying, the Navy rewrote the rules of engagement, shifting to a strategy of striking first before the enemy has a chance to act. This was not a minor adjustment. It was a revolution in military thinking. The new rule sets a clear limit. If radar signals indicate that a missile is targeting U.S. forces, the warship is authorized to fire first. There is no longer a need to wait for the missile to launch into the air. The shift from a reactive to a proactive stance is the direct response to the coordinated Houthi attack, highlighting the intense pressure such an assault can place on a carrier strike group. This decision stems from the complex reality the U.S. Navy faces. The Houthis are not a traditional naval force with clear bases or large warships. They operate covertly from secret bases in Yemen's rugged terrain, using drones and missiles supplied by foreign allies. Their tactics are full of surprises. A rocket can be launched from a mobile vehicle, or a drone can take off from an anonymous warehouse. Waiting for confirmation of an attack means putting soldiers' lives at risk. The April attack, involving 11 missiles fired toward the Truman, demonstrated that hesitation can come at a very high cost. Immediately, commanders issued orders for changes throughout the entire fleet. Any electronic signal, such as fire control radar, locking onto an American ship now became sufficient cause for immediate action. This is not just a strategic move, but also an unmistakable declaration of America's resolve on the vast ocean. Imagine a tense scenario where war is no longer a direct confrontation between regular armies, but a game played by unexpected, sophisticated, and cunning armed groups. This is the reality unfolding in the Red Sea, where global maritime traffic faces threats from the Houthi group equipped with advanced technologies such as the Quds missiles, capable of striking undetected until the very last moment. In this context, the U.S. Navy decided to change its tactical approach, shifting from waiting for clear signs of an attack to taking proactive action, even launching a preemptive strike, firing missiles, deploying aircraft, or implementing electronic measures to neutralize threats before they can materialize. This decision not only aims to protect the safety of thousands of sailors and military equipment worth billions of dollars, but also reflects the evolving understanding of modern battlefield dynamics. In the new era, adversaries are not just countries, but also non-governmental groups, and even the forces backing them, such as Iran. The message the U.S. sends with its new policy is crystal clear. Any effort targeting American forces will be met with an immediate and uncompromising response. This is not only a lesson for the Houthi group, but also a stern warning to the countries and organizations closely monitoring the situation in the Red Sea region. This policy is not new in the history of warfare. During the Cold War, NATO forces implemented proactive measures to counter Soviet submarines lurking in the Atlantic Ocean without waiting to be attacked before responding. Early identification and handling of threats was the key to avoiding disaster in high-risk combat environments. Applying similar tactics in the Red Sea, where numerous proxy groups and advanced weapons are concentrated, is essential to maintaining control and establishing a strong deterrent. The consequences of this bold decision went far beyond the tactical battlefield. It completely changed the opponent's perception of the strength of the U.S. Navy. Previously, the Houthi group had tested the limits because they knew that U.S. restraint would hinder a strong retaliation. But now, even a single suspicious signal like a locked radar, a drone taking off, or any other suspicious activity can trigger an immediate military response. This raises the stakes for those looking to challenge, forcing them to think twice before making any move. Moreover, this policy also reinforces the deterrent power of the U.S. Navy, demonstrating that they are not hesitant to take proactive measures to protect strategic interests. This is especially important in a region where the Red Sea serves as a vital artery, with over 10% of the world's goods passing through the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. Even a minor disruption, such as missile launches, could have serious consequences for global trade and regional security. The tactical shift of the U.S. Navy in the Red Sea is not merely a narrow military measure. It is a powerful strategic message affirming that America is ready to take the lead act proactively before threats arise and refuse to stand idle in the face of dangers increasingly targeting the global maritime lifelines. In today's volatile world, only sharpness and agility can maintain the initiative, and the U.S. Navy has chosen that path. To ensure the effectiveness of the new doctrine, the U.S. Navy has carried out a significant restructuring of the command and control C2 framework in the region. Decision-making authority has been strongly decentralized, empowering on-site commanders who can respond immediately to threats. This demands an unprecedented level of trust and training. Officers are granted greater authority and responsibility, but at the same time they face immense psychological pressure, as each of their decisions can determine the fate of hundreds of lives and billions of dollars in assets. Simulated exercises featuring surprise attack scenarios have been intensified not only to test the system, but also to strengthen the resilience of each individual within the command team. This ensures that every soldier, from the lowest rank to the highest, fully understands their role and responsibility in executing this preemptive strike doctrine. Drone attacks can generate shockwaves that have far-reaching impacts on the global economy. The United States not only protects its warships, but also maintains the stability of this vital shipping route. To achieve this, a new doctrine was implemented requiring subtle tactical adjustments. Sailors received more rigorous training to clearly distinguish between regular radar signals and those indicating a locked target. Commanders have also refined the decision-making process to ensure that preventive strikes are not reckless actions, but carefully considered responses to genuine threats. Advanced systems on escort ships such as the USS Truman have been fine-tuned to detect aggressive signals with the utmost subtlety. All these preparations have established a response policy that is far from impulsive and highly vigilant. Moreover, the change also creates a significant psychological advantage. The enemy now has to face a haunting uncertainty. Can a single radar ping alone trigger a U.S. counterattack? Could a drone be shot down the moment it takes off, even before it reaches its target? This uncertainty has become a powerful card in the U.S.'s hand, forcing adversaries to think twice before taking any action. The Houthi group, which often relies on bold displays to boost morale, suddenly finds itself shaken and losing confidence. Their silence following the incident with the USS Truman indicates they are rethinking their strategy. However, this policy inevitably sparks intense debates. Preventive actions, while effective, also carry significant risks. A misinterpreted radar signal could trigger an unintended attack, escalating tensions in an already fragile region. Allies, especially those reliant on U.S. support, may also worry about being drawn into broader conflicts. Critics warn that proactive intervention could strain diplomatic relations and ignite anti-American sentiment. These concerns are not ignored, but are carefully weighed against the need to protect lives and maintain regional stability. The U.S. Navy's response is grounded in pragmatism. The Red Sea is not neutral waters. It is a hot zone where state and non-state forces constantly push the boundaries. The Houthis' sophisticated, well-timed attack proved one thing: the threat can emerge unexpectedly. Waiting for a missile to be launched into the sky is no longer a viable option. The new regulations require U.S. forces to act quickly and confidently, minimizing the risk of damage caused by the enemy. This change marks a significant turning point. It demonstrates that America is adapting to a new world where small groups, but equipped with modern weapons, can challenge global powers. The decision to prioritize preventive strikes is not about seeking conflict, but about preventing it. The United States aims to ensure the safety of its forces and safeguard global trade operations through the Red Sea by taking action before threats materialize. The new doctrine was quickly put into action as soon as the turmoil from the April attacks subsided. Patrol warships maintained a high level of vigilance. Radar systems continuously scanned for any signs of danger, no matter how small. The message couldn't be clearer: the U.S. Navy was ready. In a sea full of uncertainty, taking proactive action rather than merely reacting has created a clear turning point. It is not just a promise of strength, but a readiness to fight demonstrated through concrete actions. This strategic shift by the U.S. Navy in the Red Sea could set a precedent for other conflict zones around the world. Could a similar doctrine be applied in the South China Sea, where geopolitical tensions are also escalating day by day? This is the big question that military strategists around the world are asking. The U.S. decision to abandon a wait-and-respond approach in favor of a detect-and-strike-first strategy has ushered in a new era of naval warfare. However, it also brings significant challenges in diplomacy and international law. How do we distinguish between legitimate self-defense and acts of aggression? How can we prevent accidents that could ignite a larger conflict? These questions will continue to haunt policymakers for years to come, turning the Red Sea into a strategic laboratory for the 21st century. In April 2025, the Red Sea became the launching ground for a dramatic confrontation when Houthi forces fired 11 missiles and drones directly at the USS Harry S. Truman aircraft carrier, aiming to shake global confidence in American naval power. But in the blink of an eye, the U.S. Navy responded, with the Sharp Echo operation repelling every threat and completely destroying key targets without sustaining any losses. Immediately afterward, the United States shifted to a proactive offensive strategy, sending a clear signal any hostile actions would be met with swift and decisive force. This strong response not only protects regional security, but also reshapes America's standing, ensuring that the Red Sea remains a secure lifeline for global trade. The world is watching this new assertiveness with great curiosity. How will this steel-willed approach change the nature of future conflicts? That's all Power Insider wants to share with you today, providing you with the most authentic and up-to-date perspectives based on analyses from leading military strategists and political researchers. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support is what motivates us to keep creating meaningful and high-quality content. Please leave your comments below and stay tuned for our next video. See you next time.